Hi, everyone. Go ahead and pull up your number of the day. It should be 12. So ideally, you should have this pulled up on your computer, and you should also have this video up on your computer. So you might want to pause the video to find this link to have both up at the same time. Okay. All right. So hopefully you remember what a factor is. A factor is an integer that divides evenly into another. So with this example, the 2 and the 6 are factors of 12. Okay. So I would like you to go ahead and fill out the factor T-chart on your paper. Pause the video and fill out the factor T-chart. All right, hopefully you paused the video and you filled out the factor T-chart. Remember, a factor of a number, the biggest factor of any number is the actual number. All the other factors will be smaller. So a lot of times kids will remember a factor ninja because a ninja will chop up a number to make it smaller. So that is a visual for that. So hopefully you have found all the factors of 12. I have it up on the board. Hopefully this is what your T-chart looked like. Okay. Notice that I did stop my factor T-chart at 4 times 3 because that's what we call a double. When you come up with the same array, a 4 by 3 array and a 3 by 4 array, when you have that same array, that's called like a double, and you can stop. But the factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So on your paper where it says list factors, go ahead and list the factors of 12. I have them right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Okay, next let's talk about a factor tree. A factor tree gives you the same type of information in a different way. It's called a tree because you have these little notations that kind of look like branches, so that people call it a factor tree. So how you do it is you start with the product at the top. Then I broke down the product into a factor pair. So 12 is the same as 2 times 6. Okay? Then I broke down the 6 into 2 factor pairs. 2 times 3 equals 6. All right? So what you should see is 2 is a prime number. This 2 is a prime number, and this 3 is a prime number. Okay, so what I did was I broke down the 6 because 6 is not prime. Remember, a prime number has exactly 2 factors, one in itself. So as you can see, all the red numbers are prime numbers. So 2 and 3 are prime numbers. 6 is not red, so 6 is not a prime number. So I do want to point out that you could have chosen the factor pair of 3 times 4. Okay, so 3 times 4 is a factor pair that equals 12. Okay, so you could have started that way as well. As you notice, 3 is a prime number, 4 is not. So I broke down 4 to 2 times 2. 2 are prime. Okay, so if you had a question on the quiz, it said, what are some factorizations of 12? Your answer is 2 times 6 is a factorization of 12. 3 times 4 is a factorization of 12. Now, this is a factorization of 12. 2 times 2 times 3, okay? That is called prime factorization because they're all prime numbers. But if you put in your calculator 2 times 2 times 3, you'll get 12, okay? So 2 times 2 times 3 is the prime factorization of 12. Okay, so that is the factor tree portion of your paper. So if you want to pause the video and write that down, that would be a good thing to do before we move on to multiples. All right, hopefully you paused the video and you wrote down the information on your paper. A multiple is a product of a whole number and any other whole number. So basically, the product is the multiple. So product and multiple is the same thing. Okay? So we have a visual of a multiple monster, okay, to remind people that the monster gets bigger and bigger as multiples get bigger and bigger. Your smallest multiple will always be the actual product. After that, it's like a multiple tower. All the other multiples after the product is going to be bigger, bigger, bigger. It's like multiplication. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and fill out the multiple tower on your sheet. All right, hopefully you paused the video and you filled out the multiples on your paper. The multiples I've listed here. The first multiple is 12, and just like the multiple monster, all the other multiples of 12 are bigger than 12. So if you were asked a question on the quiz, what are the first 5 multiples of 12? You would write 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Okay? And to kind of wrap up this worksheet, 12 is a composite number, 12 is even, and 12 is not a squared number. Okay? None of your arrays are squares. So 12 is not a squared number. So if you had trouble finding the multiples, you can work it out by just adding repeatedly. So your paper should look like this. Go ahead and access your Echo quiz so you can get your points for your warm-up today. Go ahead and find the Echo quiz. There should be 3 questions and complete that. Remember the Echo quiz, you either save and exit if you want to go back to it, or you submit it. Okay? All right.